Alright guys, welcome back. Today we have the full Eovan GTS Carbon Pro review for you. If you have not yet seen my unboxing video, I'll provide a link for it in the description. Go and check it out, it's a good one. This board is incredible, guys. I can't even begin to tell you how much I like it. Everything I expected out of the board has come to fruition. I expected a high-performing battery that had ultra-long range. I expected torque, I expected power, I expected stability at high speed, and this board delivered on every single front that I had. Let's get into a little more detail on some of the specifics. The deck and the grip tape is where I'd like to start. Now the deck, as you guys probably know, is a carbon fiber deck. It's 6 inches longer than your typical longboard deck. The reason for the additional length is to improve stability at top speeds. With motors this powerful and a battery this powerful, you are able to go extremely fast on this thing. So the stability that the longer, stiffer deck provides is nice. Now to piggyback on the stiffness aspect, it is a carbon fiber deck. There is zero flex, but let me tell you that this thing still rides buttery smooth despite that lack of flex. It's an amazing board. As for the grip tape, this was my first experience on padded grip tape. I have since acquired other boards that also have the padded grip tape, and I love it. This board, it really just needs it. It's essential. The lack of flex in the deck is kind of supplemented by the cushiness of the grip tape. It helps to offset the road vibrations and really deliver that ultra smooth ride. Now the wheels. One major benefit of buying this board is the extensive wheel options that you have that are strictly provided by Eovan. So they have 8 different wheel options. You get 2 with the board, 2 sets of wheels. Now all of their wheels are very premium. So the value added in providing 2 sets of premium wheels is something worth considering if you're looking at purchasing this board. I have been riding the RS 125 street wheels, the ones that you guys are seeing on the board right now. They are by far the best skateboard wheels that I have used. I'm not as experienced as some of the other YouTube reviewers out here, but I've ridden my fair share of boards. These wheels are incredible. They're very good. They're worth every penny. Torque and speed. This board hauls butt. It moves. The torque is dramatic. Even in speed mode 1, if you hit the accelerator, you will feel the kick. You'll almost feel like it's going to throw you off. The torque really isn't all that different throughout the different speed modes. The top speed with these RS 125s is 30 miles an hour. I reached that speed on a flat straightaway. I did not need a decline. It hit 30, no problem. It honestly felt like it had a lot more power to give, although I floored it and I didn't get it any higher. I think with the bigger wheels, I'm gonna have no problem hitting 32, 33, 34 miles an hour. The board moves. There's plenty of power and plenty of speed. It will not leave you lacking in any of those fronts. Battery and range. The main reason I bought this board was for the range. I was so sick of having range anxiety or having to turn around much sooner on my rides to head back home than I wanted to. The range is so good on this board that you will give up riding before the board gives up on you. I have yet to be able to deplete the battery in a single ride. It just gets to the point where I've been on the board for a long time. I'm ready for a break. The range is spectacular. It's everything I expected it to be, and it's everything that you've heard in other reviews. That I had 35 or 36% battery left, and I had already traveled 21.5 miles. You can easily get 30-mile range out of these RS 125 wheels, and if you were to put on something, say like a 120 millimeter cloud wheel, you'd be in 35, 36, 37 mile range, no problem. I weigh 210 pounds. I'm a heavier rider. If I'm getting great range on this board, odds are you're going to as well. Now, to piggyback on the battery conversation, all boards have some form of battery sag, voltage sag, whatever you want to call it. The board loses power as the battery continues to get eaten up. This board does not lose any torque with its battery sag. However, the top end speed does come down slightly. So I noticed the first 50% of the battery, I can hit that 29, 30 miles an hour on these RS 125 wheels, no problem. The second half of the battery, it maxes out around 27, 28 miles an hour. So not a huge drop off there. And again, the torque does not drop off whatsoever. The acceleration, the pickup never ever subsides. You just lose a little bit off the top speed. The brakes, I love the brakes. They're very, very strong. However, if you use the remote the right way, they will not lock up on you. What I love about the brakes is just how responsive they are. If you pull back ever so slightly on the remote, you will feel the board start to slow down. Now, if you pull the wheel all the way back and brake at full capacity, the wheels will lock up and you'll skid a little bit. That's how strong they are. I think that's a good thing personally, but it is something to be conscious of. Now, in terms of the value of the board, do you get what you're paying for? If you go and spend $1,600 on this skateboard, it's a big purchase, guys. I get that. It's worth every single penny. I would have paid more for the board. It's amazing. I love it. I think it's worth $2 grand, $2,100 easy. If you're looking at the battery, there is nothing in the same price range that will give you this quality of battery. Nothing. Maybe you could do something in a DIY area that would have better range or a more powerful battery, but if you're looking at commercial boards, things that are mass produced, this has the best range in its price point. I've done my research. I know that that's a fact. The value is through the roof. The fact that they give you 2 premium wheel choices when you buy the board adds a ton of value. I mean, there's $400 just in wheels right here. So you're looking at it like you're getting the board itself for $1,200. With the power of the motors and how big they are, with the power of the battery and how large it is, the board has fantastic value. Do not regret spending my money on this one bit. You also have to take into consideration from a value perspective, they included very high quality tools with the board. Allen wrenches that are real Allen wrenches with a real handle, things that you can actually use. They included a tire pump for the pneumatic wheels. The level of quality of the tools that were provided, the add-ons, the extras, it was all through the roof. Again, the value on this board, it's incredible. You do get a bang for your buck. Customer service is the best I've ever experienced in the electronic skateboard industry. The Eovan team is dedicated to helping their clients, and they are dedicated to responding to your inquiries quickly. I am not an influential YouTuber, so I was not getting any preferential treatment. Eovan just treated me fantastically because I was a customer. They respond to all of my messages right away. If I have any issues, they address them right then and there, send me videos and tutorials of things that I need help with in terms of working on the board. I cannot speak highly enough about Eovan and the level of service that they provided. Now, the real question is who is this board for? Who would I recommend buy this board? Somebody who's looking for range, that's a given. If you want a skateboard that will take you long distances, if you want to avoid range anxiety, if you just want to get on your board and not have to stare at the battery all the time and check if it's going to get you home, this is the board for you. This is also a board for people who want premium wheel options. The fact that Eovan has 8 different wheel options for you to choose from, plus, you can get pulleys and get creative and use whatever wheels you want. I mean, the customizability on this board is through the roof. Now, who is this board not for? If you're somebody who wants like a really carvy, flexy riding experience, this board is not for you. It doesn't flex at all. It doesn't carve in the same way that a lot of electric skateboards do. It does carve, and honestly the carving is beautiful, but they're bigger, wider carves, kind of more driven by the weight in the back of the board than by the weight in the front. I guess what I mean by that is you don't just simply lean into the turning on this board, you really do adjust your weight. Because of the size of the board, the weight of the board, it kind of operates like a snowboard. You really do dictate the direction that you're traveling in by adjusting your weight on the back. So again, this board is not for somebody who's looking for a super carvy, flexy long board. This board is for somebody who wants to go fast for long distances and have a beautiful looking skateboard. And that takes me into the next thing, the aesthetic. This board looks amazing. I ride past people and they know nothing about electric skateboards, but they can't help but stare at it. I'm sure a large part of that is just the sheer size of the board, but it looks incredible. Eovan paid so much attention to detail here. I think it's the best looking skateboard on the market currently. Now, nitpicks. If I had to pick a few problems out, I could, but in the case of a lot of these electric skateboards, your nitpicks are kind of just more like wish lists. It's like, if the board could be absolutely perfect, this is what I would want. My nitpicks are the first two speed modes. So this board only has 3 speed modes, low, medium, and high. Low and medium speed, you know, it still operates great, but I think because the board has so much power, you feel like the speed mode just cuts you off almost. Like you get up to whatever the predetermined miles per hour is for that speed mode. In speed mode 1, it is 11 miles an hour. In speed mode 2, it is 21 miles an hour. But let's say you're in speed mode 2, you get up to that 21 miles an hour and it just stops feeding power to the board. The acceleration is exactly the same in all 3 speed modes. There might be a minor difference, but it's very hard to tell. Essentially, they're just handicapping the top speed and limiting you per speed mode. I don't like that. I wish it was a little more customizable. I know that it's a VESC-based ESC and you should be able to customize it, but I'm not technical enough to know how to do that, nor do I want to mess with the board in any way. So that would be one nitpick. Another one is just due to the size, which is also a benefit, due to the size, it's tough to store this thing. I live in a very small apartment. As you can see, we're right here on the beach and we're in LA and it's small. So storing this board, while it's well worth the storage space, it is something you have to consider. It does take up a lot of room, it's heavy. I live on the 4th floor, I gotta carry it up and down stairs, in and out of the elevator. It's not your portable everyday rider. This is something you take out for a special occasion. This is something that you take out to ride long distances. It's not something you take out to just go 20 minutes up and down the street. Now, to wrap it up, the speed, amazing. The torque, second to none. The aesthetic of the board, best I've ever seen. The acceleration, it's amazing. The wheel options, amazing. Eovan they pay so much attention to detail. If you go on the site and look at the 8 different wheel options, you're gonna want all 8 of them. They're beautiful, they're so well made, they just look nice, and I can tell you from my first-hand experience, they really do perform well. I recommend this board. If you've been on the fence about whether to buy this board or not, buy it. It's money well spent. I haven't regretted it 1 second. The second the board arrived, I loved it. I'm 250 miles down on the board. I still love it just as much as the day I got it. I cannot get enough of this thing. Eovan customer service is the best, at least the best that I've come across. Like, subscribe, share this video if you found any of this information valuable. Again, it really helps the channel if you guys do something as simple as just liking the video. So if you found this valuable, if you found this entertaining, share the love. I want to keep making videos for you guys. I will be back with the unboxing of the brand new Backfire Z-Lot S. I'm so excited. I should have that video up no later than March 10th. Thanks, guys.